Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Marty Kotler. Thank you for watching this video on Target Coding's forms, logs, and templates. Let me tell you a little bit about myself before we get going. Again, my name is Dr. Marty Kotler. I am a chiropractor and I practiced for 16 years prior to starting my company, Target Coding. I am a certified professional compliance officer, certified billing and coding specialist, and my company has been helping thousands of chiropractors and their staff members for over 14 years. Now, I consider myself kind of unique because most chiropractors are not certified coders. Most certified coders are not chiropractors. So you'll see how I combine both specialties when creating these forms to make sure you're documenting properly and you're getting reimbursed what you deserve. Let me show you my forms. So, if you purchase the forms, you will receive chiropractic, Medicare, HIPAA, and telehealth forms, logs, and templates. Here is the table of contents. You will get these forms emailed to you digitally. All of these forms, there's over 100 forms, will get emailed to you digitally. We could also mail you the forms, the hard copy with the 3-ring binder, and the CD. That's going to be up to you. So, there are 4 sections. In the table of contents, you'll see 4 sections. There is a chiropractic section where you will have a whole bunch of new patient forms, new patient health history forms. I'm going to show you that. Review of systems, letter of protection if you see PI patients, lien, letter of protection, general office policy form. Then we move into financial and administrative forms. We have patient financial policies, financial hardship form. I'm going to show you that. I'm going to show you a form for non-covered services form. I'm going to show you this one. We have a whole bunch of other forms here. If a patient has a health savings account, with codes, without codes, for wellness, consent to treat minor. What happens if the check goes to the patient? You ever have a patient where you deliver a service, you submit the claim, and the check from the insurance company goes to the patient and they keep the money? Oh boy. So we have a form that will be proactive, make sure the patient pays for the services. Examination and treatment plan forms, a whole bunch in here. I'm going to show you a typical chiropractic treatment plan on page 36. Then we get into some sample soap notes. Remember, we're only in section 1 right now. These are some sample soap notes. If you do not have software, we have a paper form where you could fill in the blank. I'll show you that one. Whole bunch of forms here. I'm not going to show you all of them. I'm going to show you this one, number 6. That's a very common procedures that are done on a typical visit. I'd like to show you that one. I'll show you a wellness note. Then we get into letters of medical necessity, whole bunch here. I'll show you one for laser. Here's one. One of our clients said, "Hey, Dr. Kotler, we have a patient that came in and wants a letter of medical necessity for one of those Varidesk stand-up desks." We put one together, gave it to the doctor gave it to the patient, and the company paid for it, or the insurance company reimbursed the patient for the stand-up desk. So that was a simple way to help the patient out. I'm going to show you one for back braces, letter of medical necessity for back braces, a whole bunch for TENS, cervical collars. Let's say you need more visits, so we have a letter of medical necessity for that. Vibration therapy, spinal decompression, taping. Appeal letters, yes. Many doctors have problems getting paid for a chiropractic adjustment and manual therapy on the same day. So we have a few fight back appeal letters here. I'll show you this one, how to get paid for manual therapy and adjustment on the same day. Now, yeah, there's some physical therapy forms I've thrown in, acupuncture forms. Then we get into section 2. We have chiropractic notes for Medicare patients for the initial visit, subsequent visit, re-exams, and then ABN forms. There's new ABN forms which become mandatory very soon. So hopefully you have the updated ABN forms. We have included them in the forms packet. I'm going to show you an ABN form for maintenance care. Section 3, HIPAA. Every new patient needs to review your HIPAA notice or notice of privacy practices. I'll show you ours, whole bunch of forms here. You want to have a patient give you a testimonial so you could post it on your Instagram, Facebook page, website. It's a very good form to have. Employee acknowledgement form, you should be training all your staff members on your billing and coding policies and procedures, and they should be signing a form that they acknowledge you've trained them, they understand, and they will abide by all of your policies and procedures. I'm going to show you that one, but there's a whole bunch of employee training logs, compliance concern forms. If a staff member has a concern, what happens if a patient has a complaint about your billing and coding procedures? There's a form for that. Business associate agreement, that's included. And then section 4, there's a whole bunch of telehealth forms. You could see them on your screen. I think we have about 25 of these telehealth forms. I'm going to show you a telehealth patient acknowledgement form. I'm going to show you a COVID-19 screening procedure form. We have sample informed consent for telehealth, a sample telehealth SOAP note. We have a whole bunch of those. So let's go ahead and show you some of these forms. Let's start off with, new patient health history questionnaire. These all come in Microsoft Word. You could update these where it says Main Street Health and Wellness. Get rid of that and put your office, address, city, state, phone number in there. So we have questionnaires that you can use. Patient hasn't been in a while. Maybe you want to have them fill out an update questionnaire. We have one of those for you. Authorization for assignment, authorization to release information, just in case you can't get the patient to fill out the 1500 form, boxes 12 and 13. We built them into these onboarding forms, your reimbursement policy. Review of systems, very important. It's part of your new patient coding. If you're billing 99203, you must review systems. So if you do not have software, this is our review of systems form. This is an important item right here. After the patient fills out the form, doctor, you should be attesting to the fact that you reviewed the form, sign and date the form. Built that in. Patients just can't afford your copay. Are you allowed to waive copays, coinsurance deductibles? Routinely? No. Once in a while, yes. It comes up, use this form, let the patient fill out, financial hardship form. Patient comes in, there are certain things that you may do that are just not covered by insurance, like maintenance care, laser, vitamins. This is an important form, especially if you are in network with a plan. So it's one of our forms. Treatment plan, one of the most important forms you'll find in this packet. Again, you take off name, address, phone number. If you have software, you can just copy and paste this information into your software program, a treatment plan, in our opinion, and basically it's based on what the insurance plans, third parties are looking for in a treatment plan are 6 things. History, examination is number 2. History 1, exam 2, your diagnosis 3. I have little reminders here. If you're billing 99203, that's low complexity decision making. If you're billing 99203, your exam should have at least 12 findings. If you're billing 99203 for the history, you have to have at least 1 chief complaint, 4 HPIs, 2 to 9 systems, be reviewed, in 1 item from the past family social history. So you'll see in this example how we cover the history, exam, diagnosis is 3, the goals 4, the procedures that you're going to be performing. For example, very important, if you're going to be doing therapeutic exercises, get specific, especially if you're billing a third party. State that it's going to be with direct one-on-one contact and an active approach to provide the parameter, increase range of motion, increase strength, increase endurance, increase flexibility. How are you going to be performing it? Balls, bands, tubes, and which muscles? So that's built into the treatment plan. The services you're going to be rendering and the schedule of care, pretty straightforward, 3 times a week for a month. Here's a sample SOAP note. If you do not have software, you can use this form. Of course, you could modify it. If you do not do, let's say you don't do ultrasound, just take it off the form. And this is a sample form where you can just fill in the blank, circle check, circle check. Here's a sample SOAP note for 98940, 97110, and 97140 with the 59 modifier. See, if you're just doing an adjustment, the SOAP note is pretty simple. We created a SOAP note for one of our doctors that all she does is a quick adjustment, no traction, no therapies. We created a sample Soap note for her. It takes her 10 seconds to do the note because it's so basic and simple. But if you're doing an adjustment, therapeutic exercises, 97140, 59, it gets a little bit more complicated. So you'll see how we break it down and we get very specific. The adjustment is in the lumbar and pelvic. The exercises, lumbar. Manual therapy is in the cervical region. That's why we're using the 5-9 modifier. Here's a SOAP note for wellness and maintenance. Patient comes in, is doing fantastic. No symptoms. Patient is doing well. Is coming in for routine wellness care. Denies any functional limitations. Very evident in the note. This is not medically necessary. This is a chiropractically necessary note. Patient resulted in maintenance of functional status. What else? Okay, so here's a letter of medical necessity for laser therapy, letter of medical necessity for back braces. If you bill an adjustment and manual therapy on the same day, and many times insurance companies will bundle the two together and only pay you for the adjustment, this letter works very well and it clearly explains we did the adjustment to the lumbar, we did the manual therapy to the cervical, and we have documented, it's in the notes, and it says this billing procedure complies with all federal guidelines for reimbursement when 98940 is billed on the same day as 97140. And we have the letter right from the federal government. It's called the Administrar Federal Letter, and you attach it. All right, then we get into section 2, Medicare. Here's a typical Medicare initial visit. Medicare wants a few things to be documented. We've numbered them: the history and symptoms, description of the illness, the physical exam, which is the part exam, the sample findings we've provided with you. This is important. No contraindications to chiropractic care was found. Medicare looks for that if they do an audit. The diagnosis codes, you get very specific with the bones, specific vertebral levels that are being adjusted. That's part of the diagnosis and the treatment plan. ABN forms. There's a new ABN form. The main difference is the expiration date has changed. It's now June 30th of 2023. So this is everything you see in green, you will customize for your practice. You'll fill in the blank. So we have sample ABN forms. Then we get into section 3. This is our HIPAA notice of privacy practices. Make sure you have every single patient review this. This is not only for your protection, it's for the patient's protection. This is the sign-off page. We've entered some additional items in your HIPAA form you may want to include. Can we confirm your appointments by email, text, or phone? Can we leave a message on your answering device? Could we discuss your condition with other family members? How about if you use an open therapy room? We utilize an open therapy room. We make good faith attempts to keep our conversations at a low level. We offer every patient the opportunity to be treated in a private room if requested. Are you comfortable being treated in an open room? Yes or no? Question about telehealth. Employee acknowledgement form. All employees should be reading your office policies and procedures. So that's what this is doing. This is attesting to the fact that all employees will follow your policies and procedures. If not, they're in big trouble. Section 4, telehealth. Here's a sample telehealth form for a telehealth service that may not be covered by your insurance. A COVID-19 patient screening questions. If you are required to do this based on the CDC guidelines and other state-specific guidelines, you may be required to ask every patient certain questions about when they come in. Do they have a fever of more than 104, shortness of breath? We have a sample telehealth informed consent form. Here's a telehealth sample coding cheat sheet. It gives you every single possible code involved with telehealth on this little cheat sheet. Here's a sample informed consent. Check with your malpractice insurance company before you use this form. This is a telehealth insurance tracking spreadsheet, but you could use it for all your services. You could see 99203, Aetna pays 106, Blue Cross Blue Shield 93. Create this. Medicare Part B pays 0, right? Medicare Part B doesn't pay chiropractic for exams, so that's why there are all zeros in this column. therapeutic procedures, DME, nutrition, telephone visits, rehab. It's a nice spreadsheet. That's a spreadsheet that you'll get. And here's a sample telehealth SOAP note. Just general check-in. How's the patient doing? CPT code 99213. All right, so just a few closing comments. Here's our contact information, info@targetcoding.com, website targetcoding.com, telephone, it's our HIPAA secure fax number. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, go to YouTube, go into the search bar, put in Target Coding, subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you have any questions on these forms or any questions regarding billing, coding, documentation, Medicare, HIPAA, send us an email and set up a free consultation. Pick my brain for 15 minutes. Ask us questions about anything to do with chiropractic billing, coding, documentation, Medicare, HIPAA. And besides forms, we also provide a compliance program. Compliance program, in our opinion, consists of three things: HIPAA, billing and coding, also known as OIG, and OSHA. We do all the heavy lifting. You know, I love Toyotas and Hondas, fantastic cars. We don't sell them. We sell Mercedes, Bentleys, BMWs, Ferraris, Rolls-Royce. That's what we sell. We charge more because you get a lot more, and we do all the major heavy lifting for you. We have clients all over the country using our compliance program. We make it simple. You could also a la carte it. If you just want a billing and coding compliance manual, no problem. We can do that for you. You just want a Medicare compliance program, we can do that. You just want HIPAA, we can do that. Most people get all of them. We also offer CA boot camps. We've tried to cover every single possible job description any CA would be doing, from front desk and patient relations to billing and coding. Many of our clients have their CAs come in the back and are doing the therapies. Many of our clients have their CAs actually entering the SOAP notes and doing the notes for the doctor. And Module 4 is about compliance. We do billing. We charge 7%. Maybe 6, maybe 8. We start at 7. We see how your practice goes. Let us know if you'd like us to do your billing. We also do credentialing. Do you need a PTAN number, CAQH, NPI? Do you need to have your doctors reattest or do revalidation? We do that now. We also sell a book. This is our book on the best chiropractic ICD-10 and CPT codes to improve reimbursement. One of the major sections of the book is showing you how to pair your codes, CPT and ICD-10 code pairing, just like food and wine, just like peanut butter and chocolate. So for example, you do traction, that pairs beautifully with cervical radiculopathy and lumbar disc degeneration. Do you perform myofascial release 97140? Pairs amazingly well with M7912, which is myofascial pain in the neck region. So you've heard of a sommelier, which is a wine and food expert master. I consider myself a coding sommelier. Therapeutic exercises pairs beautifully with neck pain and shoulder stiffness. Do you do chiropractic adjustments? Of course, you should pair them with subluxations. Let me show you an example of would not pair properly. Let's say you did a chiropractic adjustment 98940 and you paired that with M9906. You see that on your screen? So you're pairing a spinal adjustment with a knee subluxation. That will cause a denial. That doesn't pair properly. So the book shows you how to pair your codes. The book also shows you how to provide the codes that pay for the most visits. They're called long-term treatment diagnosis codes. We also provide you with a whole bunch of diagnosis codes and the ortho, neuro, chiro findings to support the diagnosis codes. The book also has cheat sheets on many different things, spinal cheat sheets, PI cheat sheets. Some doctors just want us to check their notes. They don't want forms. They don't need a book. They don't need anything except they would like us to just do a SOAP note checkup. So we provide that. We'll help you get proactive. We'll help you find money you're leaving on the table. How do we know? Well, just like the farmer's insurance commercial, we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two. We have some clients, we've added one CPT code to the practice and it's equated to over $10,000 of an additional income. Those of you that deal with ASH, there's two things that we hear. Again, we've worked with so many doctors. We know what people want when it comes to ASH. Two things basically. Number one, how to get more visits out of ASH. Number two, how to get more cash out of your ASH patients. We covered that plus a whole bunch of other things. Let us know if you'd like that. We also offer memberships. We do seminars and webinars. So again, I want to thank you for attending this video. Here's our contact information. I hope you learned a lot. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.